So my first question for the both of you, do you celebrate Juneteenth and are you familiar with this celebration?
I don't celebrate Juneteenth. I know what it is, and obviously I think it's a very important holiday. I know that some Black people and like some African American people do celebrate it. I don't really know what they do, but I don't really.
Yeah, what about Trúc?
I feel that way too. Yeah, I don't celebrate it.
For the viewers, a holiday that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States, and it has been celebrated by African Americans since the late 1800s, and the exact date is June 19th, 1865. My second question for you guys is, how did you get to know about this holiday?
I learned about Juneteenth when I was in middle school because I actually live in Texas. So obviously when they teach history, they teach it kind of recently, but not like yesterday.
Honestly, I learned about this quite literally last week when Link mentioned this and got on the internet, and I just learned what it is.
For Kaylin, I know that you're from Texas and you learned it in middle school already, but for a lot of international students, unless that we stay very updated on the internet about people reposting on their Instagram stories, that's how I came to learn about Juneteenth, there wouldn't be a chance for me to get to know this holiday. Do you think this holiday should be celebrated more widely as a national holiday?
Yeah, I think it should be federalized as a national holiday because it's just as important to American history as Independence Day or Memorial Day or Veterans Day or anything like that. And I know that there are a lot of people who, Black people, who celebrate Juneteenth as, our 4th of July. Black people kind of have parallel history to the US. Everyone else got to do something and then Black people got to do it or whatever. So to me, obviously, I care a lot about it because, without Juneteenth and without the Emancipation Proclamation, who knows where I would be or who knows where my family would be or my friends or the people I care about. So I think it's an incredibly important holiday and we all should learn about it and commemorate it.
I think so as well. Besides making this holiday of a national holiday, we should also teach this in school, and I think include more updated or more correct information in our education system.
There is violence and a lot of cruelty in Black people's struggle for freedom and equality, but they also talk about something really important, is that the humanity of the Black community. It's not only about fighting or violence, but they also talk about uplifting Black voices, highlighting Black artists. And I would love to hear your thoughts on it. How do you find Black Lives Matter and Juneteenth have in common?
I don't know, I think people only see it as just Black people fighting for police brutality or whatever, but it's more than that, because all of the systems of oppression are all tied together. So Black Lives Matter means that police brutality is ended, but it also means that we take care of Black children and they get equal education, that Black families get equal housing and equal opportunity to make as much money as everyone else. And that also means that all of the systems of oppression that oppress everyone else, other people of color, those will be dismantled as well, because we all deserve to live a life of freedom and to be equal and to be happy. You're right, there is a lot of struggle and a lot of fighting and violence against Black people, but we are also people as well, and there are things that we care about, things that we fight for, but also things that we just enjoy to do. So Juneteenth and Black Lives Matter are connected in that way, and also another way to see Black people as human beings who just want to live happy and equal lives.
I do have a question for you, Trúc. Did you know about the history of Black Americans before coming to the US, and how did you feel the first time you learned them?
Before I came to the US, I got on the internet and I Googled things I should know before I go to the US and things like that. There were historical things that they said in articles and news that I read about, but a lot of it I learned when I came. So I don't think there is enough education on this for international students.
My last question for you guys is, how can young people, both domestic and international students, contribute to this movement?
I think the most important part of contributing to Black Lives Matter is that like you come ready to do the work, because it's easy to like say the statements and to like repost the pictures and all of that, but like when you come ready to learn things and to help people out and like recognize that all of these movements, it's not about one sole person, it's about like uplifting the whole community and getting everyone involved and creating freedom and equality and equity for everyone.
I don't know if this is helpful, but when I learned something new that I totally didn't know about, I tell my parents, I tell my cousins, I tell my siblings about what I just learned. I think that's important that they have a diversified sources of where they learn things from, because living in a country where everyone around you, most people are from the same race as you, and probably you live in a circle with people from the same background. I personally don't feel like I get educated a lot from people around me, so that's what I did, and I hope that it made some impact.
Yeah, I think it's really important to spread the word, to educate yourself on matters, and to really be there to show up your voice, to uplift Black voices whenever it's possible. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation for today's video.
Thank you for asking me to be part of the video.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's my pleasure. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Du học thành công and share it with your friends. Or if you don't, tell us in the comment section so that we can create better quality for you guys. Feel free to also hit that notification bell to hear more from us. See you next week!